In Harlem, some places are more than addresses. They're stories, they're roots, they're proof we were here before the glass towers came. For me, that place was Vega's Bodega. My name is Luis Vega, 55 years old, owner of the Last Bodega on this block of Malcolm X Boulevard, right around the corner from the Apollo Theater. My parents opened it in 1978. We sold cafe con leche and beef patties to anyone who walked in. We cashed checks, gave credit to neighbors who couldn't make ends meet, and we kept the lights on through blackouts, blizzards, and bad times. Back then, we served sandwiches to musicians running late for the Apollo stage and late-night coffee to organizers coming back from rallies. Now, we're surrounded by cold-pressed juice bars and boutiques selling jeans for $300. A few weeks ago, Marcus Hale walked in. Shiny smile, expensive suit, the kind of man who shakes your hand while measuring your pocket. "Mr. Vega," he said, "I'm offering double market value for your store. No tricks, just cash." I told him, "This store isn't for sale." My daughter Sophia didn't see it that way. "Dad, you're tired. You work 16 hours a day. You could retire, travel, live easy." But I wasn't tired of the work. I was tired of watching our block disappear. That's when the trouble started. My bread delivery went missing. Then the health inspector showed up, said someone made an anonymous complaint. 2 days later, the power went out right before the evening rush. Marcus Hale stopped by that night. "Accidents happen, Mr. Vega. You don't have to wait for the next one." I told him to get out. But his smile didn't move. A week later, Etta Jameson came in. Etta's 70, worked backstage at the Apollo for decades. She's seen everybody from James Brown to Lauryn Hill. She leaned on the counter and said, "Luis, your father ever show you the basement stash?" I told her I knew every inch of that basement. She shook her head. "Not the one you see, the one under the false floor." That night, I found it. Beneath old crates, there was a trap door. Inside, cardboard boxes full of flyers, photos, meeting notes from civil rights rallies, history, proof this block wasn't just buildings. It was a home base for a movement, and under the papers, a folded envelope with a deed. It said the storefront, my storefront, and the two buildings next to it were meant to stay in community hands. That's when the back door creaked. Heavy footsteps. I slid the deed into my jacket. By the time I got upstairs, the shop door was open and cold air spilled in. No one was there. The next morning, I called Sophia, told her everything. She didn't hang up this time. She said, "Then let's fight." We made copies of the deed, gave them to Etta, to our pastor, to a lawyer friend who owed my father a favor. Word spread fast, and Harlem listens when its elders speak. Marcus didn't expect a fight. One night, he showed up with two men to talk. But the block was ready. 20 neighbors stood in front of the bodega, some with cameras, some with arms crossed, all with the same message, "Not here." That's when Manny Morales showed up. Sharp wool overcoat, walking cane he didn't need, eyes that saw too much to ever be surprised. Manny was a Harlem street legend, part businessman, part ghost story. He stood in my bodega, looked me dead in the eye, and said, "Your father once kept me alive when the streets wanted me gone. That makes you family, and family doesn't get pushed off the block." Manny made a few calls. Suddenly, Marcus's construction permits were under review. His suppliers stopped taking his calls. An investigative reporter got a fat envelope of anonymous documents showing shady financing on half his projects. Then came the sit down. Marcus was told to meet Manny in the back of a Harlem jazz lounge, the same spot where my father once ran late night coffee for Manny's crew. When Marcus arrived, Manny didn't raise his voice. "This block's not for sale," he said. "You walk away, maybe people forget your name's been floating in certain ledgers. You stay, and you'll wish the city's investigation was your only problem." The room went quiet. Marcus tried to smirk, but one look from Manny's right-hand man turned it into a swallow. The next morning, a story broke on a local blog. Headlined, "Developer Targets Harlem Landmark Meant to Stay in Community Hands." That's when it happened. A famous singer, Miss Lila Ray, who'd performed at the Apollo just the year before, posted a photo of herself outside the bodega. Caption read, "This is where my mama bought my first lunch after my first Apollo show." Harlem doesn't sell out. Save the bodega. By nightfall, the post had over 1.2 million likes. 2 days later, the city announced an investigation into Marcus Hale's other property deals. Rumors swirled. Some said he'd bribed inspectors. Others said he was laundering money through shell companies. Then Marcus disappeared. No press conference, no moving truck. Just gone. The last I heard, somebody saw him at LaGuardia. Ticket to anywhere. The bodega survived. So did the two buildings next to it. The city recognized them as a protected historic site. Business is better now. We get tourists taking selfies with the famous Vegas bodega sign. But we still make cafe con leche the same way my father did. Strong, sweet, and served with respect. In Harlem, we know the difference between owning a building and belonging to a block. And we don't give the second one up without a fight. If you're hooked on the drama and can't wait for the next twist, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss a moment. Your seat in the front row of the story is waiting.